Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. And also, don't forget the Webtalk Legends Podcast host. Man, we're here to drop some value from all over the world. We are here to learn, we're here to be educated, and also take the information that we give you today, wherever you are in the world, and actually implement it. Take action. And I would love to hear from you if you take some of the ideas, some of the strategies that we talk about during our conversation, and it works for you. Give us a comment back. Share this live. We want to help as many people as possible. Let me bring on a good buddy of mine. Frank, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Shawn, how are you, pal? Thanks for having me on.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How you been?
I'm doing well. Happy Thanksgiving Eve
I
for
know.
those that are out there, man. This is going to be, I love this time of the year. This
We're
is,
showing our age. Normally, we be out partying when we're a little bit younger. It's the biggest party night of the year, right?
you know what? I saw, you are 100% right. I saw a post, the most alcohol or the most people going out for drinking is,
This
besides New Year's Eve, is Thanksgiving Eve. It's crazy.
tonight.
And it's been a great ride this year. I know a lot of changes happened. We're all back into the swing of things. COVID happened. We're trying to get things normal. And before we even get into our conversation, Frank, give
Yeah.
us a little introduction of who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Frank De Silva. I've been in the real estate business for quite some time, over 10 years. I switched over to the mortgage side a few years ago as well. So I do mostly mortgages. I still do a little bit of real estate here and there, kind of just to keep the pulse on the industry and kind of, still be in both a little bit. And that's pretty much it. I switched over to the broker side in June. I'm really enjoying being on the mortgage broker side. I could do a lot of things there I couldn't do on the correspondent lender side. So it's been really good.
It's nice to see that you're able to do both type of businesses. A lot of people think you have to do one or the other, or some people say, oh, you can't do both. You're doing both, and you're doing it strategically.
Yeah.
You're doing it the right way. And like you said, the broker side, why I think you like it more is because you can help more people, right?
Yes, well, it's that and it's control. So a lot of times when I was working with the bank, on the bank side, you take a loan application, you kind of hand it off to the processor, and then they're doing their thing and going through their channels. On the broker side, I'm doing my own processing, so I have full control of the transaction. Kind of like with real estate. So with real estate, when you're a realtor, you have full control of the transaction, right? You know everything that's going on. Your home inspections, appraisal, and you're just going right down the list. On the mortgage side, same thing on the broker side. So if I'm processing the loan, I'm getting all the conditions together, I'm uploading everything. So it's really it's a refreshing take on it compared to being on the bank side. I really am really enjoying it.
No, it's excellent. I haven't had anyone that does both, so this is good that we're going to have a great conversation. We have Teacher Tim from Thailand has popped in. This is fantastic. He's a great guy. We have many others. Those that are jumping in, please drop a comment where you're watching from. If you like what we're talking about, give us some thumbs up. If you don't like it, we don't really care. We like just having a conversation, right? But we want engagement. We want people to comment and share. If we're talking about certain things you like, share it, drop it in the comments. And also, we're here to network. So if you are in the real estate world, you got to know Frank. So definitely drop some, if you're into a vendor, drop a website in there. Now, Frank, let's go back why did you get into the mortgage business and the real estate business? Like, what were you before that?
So before that, I was in a couple of different businesses. I was a contractor for a number of years. I was in the flower business for a while, and then I got into real estate in, I guess it was around 2010, after the housing market had tanked. And I'd gotten my license then. I didn't really do that much with it. I kind of, just kind of dabbled here and there. It was more or less I was using it for my own purposes. But after a while, I started getting a little bit more into it. In I guess it was 2014, I joined the real estate team, and that's really when things really started to pick up. I actually I was talking to somebody that just or is in the process of getting licensed for real estate in New York today. Had reached out to me and just was asking for some advice on what type of brokerage to go to and negotiate the commission. And I told her, I said, the main thing is you need to do business. So I advised her, get on a team. Even if your split isn't that great, you need that exposure. It doesn't matter if you get a deal here and another one in another month or two. The more volume you do, the faster you're going to pick it up. And then
Yep.
all that business that you're doing now, in 5 years, they're still going to be your clients because they know you, they love and trust you. So, for anybody getting into the business, getting started, I would 100% get on a team, but not just any team. You really have to interview and see that there's value there. Are they giving you leads? Are they giving you training? Are they giving you, pretty much what you need to succeed,
I like that. That's good advice. There's a lot of people going at it by themselves. They don't teach you anything in real estate school.
They
They
don't.
teach you how to pass a test, right? They don't teach you about the business. And that's an excellent
It's the
advice. Go
same
onto a
thing.
team and learn.
It's the same thing on the mortgage side. So like when you go into the real estate business and you get your license, nobody really teaches you anything, right? So you pass the test, great. You have a test. Now what? You got to go after business. You got to prospect. Well, how do I prospect, right? Nobody really. So some agents who will show you, and they'll show you some stuff and give you some training, but it's never going to be the level that you would get on a team where that's all they live, eat, and breathe at. Same thing on the mortgage side. Got my license. It's pretty much all regulations. You have to pass the test. But then when you get out there, it's like nobody really shows you this stuff. They're like, go get the business, bring the business in, and we'll figure it out after that. So you're kind of operating blind for quite some time. It took quite some time and changing a couple of different mortgage companies for me to really start wrapping my head around it. But it's part of the growing pains, like what you have to do to get there.
You always have growing pains. You're trying different things. Like for social media, how important is social media for you? There's a lot of people that are watching are involved with either network marketing, affiliate marketing. They might be building a brand. How important is social media for you?
Social media is fantastic. So social media, the more you post, and it's kind of Grant Cardone. I listened to some of his stuff in the past. And he's kind of just like keep posting, and then the people that get over it, they'll delete you or they'll stop following you. But the ones that stick around, those are the ones that you want. You don't really care about the people that left, right? So the more you post, the more interaction you're going to have with with people and potential clients. So I post pretty regularly, and it's pretty often I'll get a message on my messenger. Hey, I'm thinking about selling something, or I need a mortgage, or I need a cash out. Like there's always a demand there, but you have to put yourself out there. I recently just hired somebody to start doing just shooting video for me for posting on TikTok, Instagram, on the Reels. I'm kind of new to that stuff. I'm not like super tech savvy with like all the shooting the video and editing and stuff. So I don't mind paying somebody to do it, and he's doing a fantastic job. But it's just more exposure. I mean, the more exposure you have, the better.
Using video is the most powerful thing in the world. And everyone has one of these things. Yeah. Everyone has a phone. Yeah. You can use the phone. You can have it edited. You can have it. I tell people all the time, hit record. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will hit record, do whatever they're going to say, and then they delete it. They say it wasn't perfect. They're looking for perfection. You're never going to get perfection.
No, some of the videos that my guy posted on TikTok of me, the first ones, oh my God, they're awful. I'm like, stiff and whatever, but now they're getting a little bit better. So there's definitely a learning curve to it and a comfort level. The first two I saw you posted, I was kind of cringing, but it is what it is. They're real, right?
You have to be authentic. That's what people said. And you said it earlier, like people will know, like, and trust you. People say, I can't do video because I am overweight. I don't like the way I sound. I'm not confident in the way I speak. Well, the only way to get better is to do it, right? Practice makes perfect. And doing it over time. I mean, I didn't know how powerful it was. I started doing video back in 2018. Yeah. I've been just every single year just getting better, adding things to it. You don't have to have lighting. You don't have to have the microphone. You can just use your phone. Just be consistent. I did video it was all staticky, but the clarity, the words that came through, that's the important thing. Is to provide that value for others.
Yeah, it's the value in the message.
And it's being consistent. So I like how you're doing that. I see it. TikTok is all different platforms. People should be on Viral Legends. They should be on Unifying Legends. These are other platforms that can help you grow as well.
You're
Now,
gonna tell me a little bit more about those. See, a lot of this stuff I don't even know about a lot of these platforms. Like I know the main ones, so obviously Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but some of these other ones that you just mentioned, I haven't even heard of them. You know,
and the one that you joined recently is Webtalk, and Webtalk
Mhm.
is in beta still. It's not public. It's not like Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
It's invite only, and
yeah,
it's really a platform for networking, and it's
Mhm.
all around the world, and it's powerful. And they have a system that you're able to categorize people and market to them.
Oh
You
wow.
can't do that on other platforms. So it's definitely some ins and outs that I could definitely teach you, and I'll share you some other thing
Yeah, no,
another time
that
for
would be
sure.
fantastic. That would be fantastic. Um, one thing I wanted to touch back on too with on the mortgage side. So
Hmm.
being on the broker side, aside from the fact that I'm enjoying processing my loans and having control of everything, is the speed of being able to get things done. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen some of the posts I put, like getting loans cleared to close very quickly. Um, I can't emphasize enough how important that is, right? So, being in the real estate business so long, one of the main things that you're waiting for is a clear to close, because that means that you're pretty much at the finish line. The bank is ready to wire the money for the closing, and that's really when the rubber meets the road. So normally you're getting the clear to close about 3 days before closing, 2 days. Normally everybody's scrambling to get last minute documents like a week or two before, and it's a very stressful situation, right? So you have the sellers, they're trying to get their house all ready, they're moving on to where they're going. The buyers are trying to get all their documents on the road for the mortgage and get everything going. So it just creates a lot of pressure towards the end of the transaction. So what I've been able to do, and consistently, it's not like it's a one-trick pony. I did it once. So
Right.
it's like, I'm consistently doing it. So I've had clear to closes in 4 days, 8 days, 12 days, even 18 days, but that's still fantastic. Normally it takes 30 days to get a mortgage commitment.
Yeah.
So I'm able to get a clear to close before the 30 days. So what that does is alleviates a lot of the pressure, not only on the buyer, the seller as well, and also the realtor, right? So it alleviates a lot of pressure across the board. So I've really been pushing and promoting that. I saw firsthand, I just closed the deal last week that we were cleared to close 3 weeks before closing date. The buyer went on vacation for a week. I didn't ask him for one document for 3 weeks before the transaction closed.
Wow.
I mean, it's absolutely breathtaking how the
No,
speed that
I've
it gets done.
I saw that. I see all these
Yeah.
posts you're doing recently, and the power is what I'm thinking. I'm hearing from you is you're taking all the information
Yeah.
at point of contact. You're
Yes.
not just doing like a pre-qualification that
No.
people, if you're watching this, pre-qualification is pre-approval. One is just a credit check, and the other one is actually a full, basically an underwritten kind of,
Yeah.
approval.
So what I do is I like to collect all the documents up front. I run credit, get everything going, right? So once that's all done, I upload the file and then, to the wholesaler, whoever I'm going to, because a big difference too is I don't work for the bank. So I work for the borrower. So my job is to get them the best rate. So I shop with multiple lenders. So multiple wholesalers, I guess I could say.
Yep.
So once that's all done, I upload the file, and then within like an hour or two, I get the approval, and the approval comes with conditions. So now on the broker side, I don't loan the money, so I don't submit the commitment. I don't offer a commitment. I offer the approval with conditions, kind of like the same thing. Just the commitment means that you're going to loan the money, but we don't loan the money.
Right.
So when I get it, I get that approval within usually an hour or two, maybe three, of submitting the file. So while a typical lender has to wait 30 days before they get their commitment with conditions, I get it in a matter of hours. So once I get that, then I could just go down the line and say, I need this, 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 and that. I contact the borrower, and then it's just a matter of putting the documents together.
It's very streamlined. It's important
Yeah.
to have somebody like Frank that knows what he's doing and gets things done. He's all about closing deals, not just pre-approving or
Oh yeah.
pre-qualifying. He wants to take you from point of contact to that closing table and into that house. And that's the power of having somebody that's a professional that's doing his job. And I want to shout out Chris Whalen is in the
Hey
house.
Chris, how
What's
are you?
going on, Chris? We have our Charlene is in Florida. So we appreciate you guys for popping in. If you guys have questions for Frank, definitely drop a comment and we'll definitely get those answers for you. Now, Frank, you continue to be that person, a go-to person. What about those days? I like mindset. I like hearing what people do from their mindset. The days that you had or had in the past that are not going right for you. You're making those calls and nobody's like saying yes to you, or you're doing those, pre-approvals and you're not getting approvals. You're getting denied. How do you keep going? What do you do? How have you programmed yourself?
I learned a long time ago, things aren't always on our terms, right? So what might not be lining up today, tomorrow or a week from now might come together, especially in the real estate business. I've learned that, nothing's really dead until it's dead, and then sometimes comes back to life. It all depends. As long as the buyer and the seller, the buyer wants to buy and the seller wants to sell, as long as that exists, the deal's going to come together. It's just a matter of structuring and finding a way. As far as, having down days, listen, we all have down days, and you kind of just have to keep pushing through and find the silver lining. And essentially, you're just setting up, even though you might not see it today, you're setting up success for a week from now, from 2 weeks from now, because those people that you touch today, when they need something, or they know somebody that needs something, they're going to reach back to you, even though they might not have needed it at that moment.
Now, do you have hobbies, or are you always working, man?
So I would say I like fishing, but I don't really find myself fishing much. I usually am fishing for clients these days and loans and whatever else comes along. I really enjoy working. I really enjoy what I do. Like, I'm not like a big sports guy. I don't sit home watching, the game. Like, that's not me. I'd rather be, prospecting, or just not even prospect, just being out, out with friends, kind of just having a good time, and that's it,
I'm sure you do a lot of networking, right? You go to events, or do you just, or the way I'm hearing from you is even going out with friends, you're still having conversations. And then if someone talks about real estate in your world, real estate and mortgages, boom, that sparks. Now you have a conversation.
Either side, everybody wants to talk about real estate and everybody wants money. So it's kind of, you got the best of both worlds. But I talk to everybody. Even like when I go to the store, if I go to the convenience store, I'm asking, the clerk how their day's going. Like I just, make it a point to kind of talk to everybody I run into. And, even if it's a cab driver or whatever, I'll even give them my card. Hey, listen, if you ever, thinking of refi, well, now nobody's really refinancing, right? Unless you really need money. But back when the refi boom was going on, I'm just randomly handing out a card. Hey, listen, if you're thinking about refinancing, the rates are fantastic. It's funny because I've been going to Florida a lot, and I was talking to one of the cab drivers like that. So I hand him my mortgage card, and he hands me his real estate card. He was a realtor too.
Yeah. You never know who you're, sitting next to, that you can have a conversation that could change your life. You don't know what that can be. Now, I did see that you're going back and forth to Florida. You have, probably another branch that you're working out of.
Yeah. So I'm licensed in Florida and New Jersey. So and we're soon going to be licensed out of Pennsylvania as well. I'm already personally licensed in Pennsylvania and South Carolina as well. Just the branch I'm with isn't yet. But I've been going down there. I have relationships with realtors down there that I do business with. So, it's like anything else. It's nice to go show face, and you go down and kind of meet up with everybody and, see how everything's going. But I enjoy going to Florida, especially in the winter. Who doesn't like it?
We were supposed to do this last week or 2 weeks ago, and they had that big hurricane coming through. Yes. And that's why, and you were there and you had to get out. And that's why we had to postpone, because I'm like, I understand, man. I know that you have to get out of that situation.
So it was crazy. So I flew down, I think it was on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. No, it was Monday morning. So I'm literally drinking my coffee as fast as I can to get out the door to get to the airport. And I'm watching the news, and they're like, oh, and a hurricane or tropical storms, headed towards Florida. I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, who flies to Florida during like a tropical storm on its way? So then I get there, and then I'm noticing, all right, it's getting a little bit more serious. And I was there for an event on Wednesday. So as soon as my event was over, I literally was on my way to the airport, because I wanted to attend a closing for a friend of mine that, she bought a house, and, I was working with them, and I kind of, I really wanted to be there for the closing. So luckily, I made it back in time on that Thursday to get there. But it was, I definitely caught one of the last flights out of that airport right before the storm came. That's for sure.
Now, it's something that I know Charlene is in Florida, but she's in Northwest Florida, so I'm not sure if they
Okay.
got hit at all. But I know there's opportunities out there that I don't like hurricanes. I don't like to be in positions like that. I'm glad you got out of there, and it hit some people, just like in Buffalo. The snow
Yeah.
just recently. It's been this whole weather has been changing. It's insane and what's happening right now, and
Yeah.
it's it's getting colder in New Jersey, but it's something that it's not the full-blown winter yet. So that's
Yeah.
something that I can't wait for that to come. Now, you have all these things go on, and I know people are asking, how do you keep yourself organized?
So, for the real estate end, like I said, I don't really do a lot, but I do a little bit here and there. I did end up hiring I guess an assistant, you could say. And so she handles a lot of the documents and stuff like that, a lot of the electronic signatures, like that alleviates a lot of the pressure. And it's funny because all the years that I did real estate, just real estate, nothing else, I never had an assistant. I just did it all myself. And now I'm like, man, I really should have hired somebody back then. It would have alleviated a lot of stress and a lot of different things. It's with the real estate, a lot of it's just I enjoy the negotiation and the structuring of the deals and working past the problems. Like there's a wall in front of me. How am I getting over or around this thing?
Right.
And usually there's a way. It's just a matter of finding out which party is going to be happy with what. Kind of just navigating those waters. But I find the same satisfaction on the mortgage side because not every mortgage is easy, right? Sometimes there's obstacles that you have to overcome, and and it's almost like putting the pieces of the puzzle together, on both ends. So it's kind of, on the real estate side, you get the satisfaction. Okay, I found you the house. Like it's their forever home. They love it. They're happy. On the mortgage side, I got them the money. So it's kind of, I find them both very rewarding. But
Yeah.
they're two totally different animals. Like they're very they're so different. When I first sat in front of my computer with the desktop underwriting system that we use, I remember looking at all those fields that needed to be filled in, and my head was spinning. I was like, wow.
But now it's like clockwork. It's an
now
easy thing.
It becomes second nature. Now it's like muscle memory. It's like it's like I get the documents, just boom, 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 right down the line. Which is nice. It's finally it's all coming together.
Good streamline. Now, before you talked about with doing video, you said Grant Cardone. What got you involved with working or listening or reading his stuff?
I tell you, I got the Audible app a couple of years ago. Man, I've listened to so many different books. Like, him, I like him because he's energizing, right? So he's got a lot of energy, and he was saying at that time, he was saying a lot of stuff that the other people weren't saying. He's like, basically, post as much as you can. Like, I mean, he just goes like a million miles an hour. So I listened to a lot of his stuff at that point in time. But I have like some other stuff, and I have some Zig Ziglar I listen to. I mean, it's pretty much I listen to the old school stuff. Napoleon Hill too, Think and Grow Rich. What else is another How to Influence People and Win Friends? There's so many like good like books that were like, I don't know, a million years ago that are still relevant today. You could still pull a lot of good information out of.
And reading these books today, you're gaining the knowledge, and you're seeing what people have gone through in the past, making mistakes. You don't have to make the same mistakes. You learn from what they do.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's a great mentor. There could be books, there could be people. It just depends on how you want to I always like to have a growth mindset. You want to be better than what you were yesterday, so you're always going to be growing. People say, well, you could take a time out from time to time. You could take a time out when you're dead. I want to keep doing things. And I have kids. I want to keep growing. I want to make sure I have, a legacy I'm leading. I don't want to just, be done and over with. That keeps me, that hustle, the passion. And you have the same thing, man.
Yeah, no, listen, man. Every day, it's funny because like I don't know, I've been getting more energized lately. It's crazy. So like I've gone through like spells where it's like I'm like kind of like everybody, you're tired in the morning. You're like you're kind of dragging and going. I've been so amped up lately these last couple of months with everything just going like a million miles an hour. I find myself getting up at like 3, 4 in the morning sometimes, and I just start my day. I get right on my email. I have my first cup of coffee. I hit the gym. I'm like, I'm going. Like this morning, I've been up since like 3:30 this morning, and I literally just walked through the door here about 7:45, and just going. But it's like I don't know. It feels good. It makes you feel alive.
I like how you said that. The going to the gym. A lot of people, as they get older, don't realize how important that is. If it's
Oh
going
yeah.
to the gym or being, exercise. You know, why is that a stress reliever as well for you?
Yeah, it's stress reliever. It gives you some energy. I mean, it does a lot of different things. For a while I didn't go, and it's like I was feeling more like I don't know tired all the time. And it kind of sucked getting back in there the first couple of
It
days. I
does.
mean, I was
It
like,
does.
it was awful. And but it's started to come full circle. So now it's like almost I feel like if I don't go every day, I'm like I feel like something's missing.
That's what being consistent with everything. And you, like you said, it
Mhm.
sucks in the beginning because your body is sore. It's not used to it. Just like making phone calls, just like
Oh yeah,
putting out emails. You're gonna keep getting those no's from people. You gotta
yeah,
keep plugging forward, keep it moving, and that's you'll have that success. You'll have
yeah.
something to show for in the near future.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the advice I gave to that realtor I was talking there, or the soon-to-be realtor I was referencing earlier. So she was asking about the cold calling, and I told her, I said for a long time I had my Mojo dialer, and I
Oh, you're
literally
right.
would just it was dial. I paid for the extra where you dial 3 lines at once. I was averaging about 500 calls in like 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it was. But after a while, I mean, at first you're kind of like, oh, this is awful. But then after a while, it's just like it's just normal. You just get on the phone, you do your 2 hours, you get your calls in. For the most part, you think people are gonna be nasty to you to hang up. They're not. I had conversations with people for 20 minutes that had no interest in buying or selling anything. Kind of just got on the topic of whatever, and here we're having a conversation.
And it
So
leads to building a relationship with somebody.
yeah,
That's what we all should be doing. Whatever business we're involved in. If you're online, if you're doing a real estate, mortgage, insurance, what have you, you're
yeah.
always trying to build those relationships. Is there any apps that you're using that would benefit those that are watching today?
Apps.
Apps or any websites? I know I use Calendly a lot. I like to organize my day with, scheduling, and that is a great app for me for people to so I have more, proactive
Yeah.
with my calls rather than a reactive all day long.
See, with me, what I usually do is it's very simple. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not very like techie or anything like that. On my Apple phone, I just have the tasks that you could fill out, whatever the night before or the day before. I just start thinking, all right, I got to do this, and I just basically make myself a long to do list. I got to call this person, I got to call that person, I got to check up on this file, I got to see what's going on with these inspections. And then as I start my day, I just start checking off each one. The more I check off, the more motivated I get that the list is almost cleared.
That's awesome. I like that. That's
you know?
something that you can see your
Mhm.
progress throughout your day,
Yeah.
and
So
you're checking things off, and that keeps you going. That keeps
yeah.
you on the right track. And hey, I know we're coming to a close. You came on the podcast with no problem. You're like, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
What would you give as far as advice for people to come onto a podcast such as Webtalk Legends
Mhm.
Podcast? Because a lot of people, when I say, "Hey, you want to come on?" they're saying, "Oh, I'm too busy. Oh, I'm not ready for it.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know if I have enough value to give." What kind
Yeah.
of advice would you give those that are watching?
I would say don't think about it too much. It's kind of it's all got to come out natural, right? So today, obviously, I missed the last one that we had, due to the storm, but and I was flying back. But today, I didn't really give much thought. I mean, I knew I had it today at 8:30, And but I figured I'm just going to go with natural, right? I don't know what you're going to ask me. I don't know, people might ask. So, whatever it is, it's going to be.
It's something that being authentic, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. We're all here to learn. You gain value.
Yeah.
Everyone has knowledge that
Yeah.
they have in their mind that others, when they're listening to it. Now, that's the other thing is people listen to a lot of things. People go to workshops, they go to, events, they learn things, but they don't apply it. They don't take action. But you're an action taker, man. I see you're doing big things.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of, you got to just kind of do it. Even if you're kind of like, it's easy to get in your head and be like, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow or whatever, but just pull the trigger, do it now.
Love
at
it,
the end of the day, what do you have to lose?
You definitely had some major value for us today. I appreciate you coming on today. We have a lot of people that are going to watch this on the replay. If you're catching it right now, don't forget, check out the description, reach out to Frank, connect with him on Webtalk, on all the other platforms. And if you have questions for him for mortgages and real estate, he's a go-to, man.
Yeah, reach out to me. I'll definitely, whatever I could do to help out. Even if they want to just have any ideas towards marketing, or even if you have like a crazy scenario. So one of the things I do with my realtors that especially the newer ones I'm working with on the mortgage side, I'm always there. Like if they have a weird scenario that they're running, or something's going on with the real estate transaction, they're having trouble getting everything lined up, I'm always available. I always make myself available 7 days a week. It doesn't matter.
Awesome, man. Frank, thanks so much for being with us today.
You got it. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Anytime you want to have me on, I'm more than happy to come on.
It's awesome, man. Thanks everyone else for tuning in. Have an awesome rest of the day, night, wherever you are in this world. Have an